What if I told you that for most people, walking is actually a better exercise for long-term fat loss than running? It sounds totally backward, right? We've all been taught that running is the king of cardio, the fastest way to torch calories. And yeah, it's true that running burns more calories per minute, but that number is basically a lie when it comes to what really matters for losing weight and actually keeping it off. In this video, we're going to pull back the curtain on the things that calories in, calories out misses, and I'll show you which of these two exercises will most likely get you better, more sustainable results. If you're ready to finally get the real story on cardio for fat loss and find something that actually fits your life, do me a quick favor and hit that like button and subscribe. It really does help us challenge these old-school fitness myths and bring you information that can actually make a difference. Let's start with the obvious. The one fact that gets thrown around everywhere. Running burns more calories than walking. There's no debate there. For a 160-pound person, running at a steady pace burns about 15.1 calories per minute. In that same minute, walking would burn around 8.7 calories. So, over a 30-minute workout, you're looking at a huge difference. Roughly 453 calories for the runner versus just 261 for the walker. Based on that math alone, the case seems closed. If fat loss is just a simple game of burning more than you eat, running is obviously the faster tool for the job. You get more bang for your buck. For a long time, that's where the conversation just stopped. But that simple view is the calorie lie. It zeroes in on a single number from a 30-minute workout and totally ignores the other 23.5 hours of your day. It ignores how your body actually responds to stress, it ignores your hormones, your hunger, and maybe most importantly, it ignores basic human nature. The truth is, how many calories you burn during a workout is one of the least important parts of losing fat for good. So if running is so much more efficient, why isn't every jogger out there lean and fit? The first hidden factor is the injury trap. Running is a high-impact sport. Every single time your foot hits the ground, your body is absorbing a force of about 2.5 to 3 times your body weight. Walking, on the other hand, is low impact, with forces only around 1.2 times your body weight. What does that mean in the real world? It means runners get hurt. A lot. Studies show that anywhere from 19% to a whopping 79% of runners will get injured at some point. We're talking about all the greatest hits. Runner's knee, shin splints, IT band syndrome, stress fractures, you name it. And here's the kicker. Getting hurt doesn't just put your progress on pause. It throws it in reverse. You go from a 450-calorie run to 0 calories burned from exercise, often for weeks or even months. The consistency you were building is gone. Your motivation tanks. Meanwhile, the walker just keeps on walking, day after day, week after week. Their risk of getting sidelined is dramatically lower. The best exercise is the one you can actually do, and you can't do much when you're stuck on the couch with an ice pack on your knee. This leads us right to the next, and arguably most important factor, sustainability. Think about the story of the tortoise and the hare. The hare is the runner, fast, impressive, blasting out of the gates with all this intensity. The tortoise is the walker, slow, steady, and honestly not very exciting to watch. But we all know who wins that race. Long-term fat loss isn't a sprint. It's a marathon of just showing up. And for most people, high-intensity running just isn't something you can stick with day in and day out. It's physically brutal. It requires a lot of recovery, and let's be real, it can be mentally exhausting to psych yourself up for a tough run every day. Walking, though, is the definition of sustainable. It's something we humans evolved to do for hours. It's so much easier to fit into your life. You can walk on your lunch break while you're on a phone call or with your family after dinner. There's almost no mental barrier to getting started, and because it's low impact, you can do it every single day without feeling totally wrecked or needing a ton of recovery time. Let's go back to the math, but this time, let's look at a whole week. The super motivated new runner might get in 3 30-minute runs before their shins start to burn, or they just feel burnout. That's about 1,359 calories. The consistent walker, on the other hand, can easily manage a 45-minute walk every single day. That's over 2,700 calories burned in the week, almost double what the runner managed, all while feeling better, recovering faster, and building a habit that can actually last a lifetime. Your body isn't a simple calculator. It's a complex survival machine that's been fine-tuned over millennia. When you put it under intense stress, like a hard run, it fights back. And one of its favorite weapons is hunger. Intense exercise can mess with your appetite in weird ways. While it might crush your hunger right after a workout, that effect is usually short-lived. For a lot of people, the huge energy dump from a run triggers a powerful, almost primal hunger later in the day. This gets even worse because of the "I earned this" mindset. After a brutal 450-calorie run, it is way too easy to justify a big meal or a treat that completely wipes out that deficit and then some. Walking, because it's more moderate, usually doesn't trigger that same monster appetite. It tends to be more neutral, and for some people, it can even slightly suppress hunger. This makes managing the calories inside of the equation so much easier. You aren't in a constant battle with your own body, which lets you maintain a real calorie deficit, the thing that actually drives fat loss, without feeling miserable and deprived all the time. You've probably heard of the fat-burning zone, that low-intensity heart rate where your body just melts fat. This is one of those things that's technically true, but practically misleading. At lower intensities, like walking, your body does use a higher percentage of its energy from fat. But, like we already covered, high-intensity running burns more total calories, which means it also burns more total fat, even if the percentage from fat is lower. So, if we're only looking at fuel sources, the whole fat-burning zone idea is mostly a myth for maximizing fat loss. The total calorie deficit is what matters most. So why even bring it up? Because the feeling of being in that less intense state is a huge deal for sticking with it. When you're walking, you can breathe, you can hold a conversation, listen to a podcast, and actually enjoy being outside. It feels restorative. For many people, running just feels like punishment. That psychological difference is everything. You are infinitely more likely to stick with an activity that you actually enjoy. The last hidden factor here is stress. We think of exercise as a stress reliever, and it definitely can be. But forcing yourself to do a workout you dread can also be a major source of stress on your body and your mind. Chronic stress leads to higher levels of the hormone cortisol, and high cortisol is the arch nemesis of fat loss. It can signal your body to store fat, especially around your stomach, and even break down muscle. For people who genuinely love to run, it can be a fantastic way to lower stress and chase that runner's high. But for the millions of people who don't, forcing themselves to pound the pavement can do the exact opposite, jacking up their stress and creating a hormonal environment that's fighting against fat loss. Walking is by its very nature meditative. It's been shown to reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety. It lowers cortisol and helps you relax. By choosing an exercise that cuts down your total stress load instead of adding to it, you're creating an internal environment that is primed for fat loss, not one that's constantly in panic mode. So after all that, what's the final verdict? Is running bad? Not at all. It's a fantastic exercise that offers incredible cardiovascular benefits and burns calories like crazy. If you're someone who can run without getting hurt, and you genuinely love it and can do it consistently without it making you ravenous or stressed out, then it can be a phenomenal tool. But for a huge number of people, for those of us looking for a path to fat loss that we can actually stick with for the long haul, walking emerges as the unsung hero. It avoids the injury trap. It's built for consistency. It doesn't declare war on your appetite, and it calms your mind instead of stressing it out. While running may be more effective for weight loss when done consistently, walking is often the more sustainable choice for many. The ultimate truth is that the best exercise is the one you'll actually do, and for so many of us, that's walking. A balanced approach can be amazing too. Walk most days to build that base of consistency, and then sprinkle in a run or some higher intensity work when you feel good and you're up for it. Now I want to hear from you. After all this, are you on team running or team walking? What's your personal experience been with using them for weight loss? Drop your story in the comments below. I read every single one, and your experience might just be the thing that helps someone else on their own journey. Don't let the calorie lie make you think you have to punish yourself to see results. The most important step you can take is the first one out the door. Just move your body in a way that feels good and that you know you can do again tomorrow. And speaking of steps, if you're leaning toward team walking after watching this, you're going to want to see what I discovered about that magic 10,000 steps number everyone talks about. It turns out there's actual science behind why this simple daily habit can transform both your mental and physical health in ways you never expected. I break down all the surprising benefits in this video right here. Trust me, some of these will shock you.